Okay, so funny story. During the first recording of this, hi, it's me, Editor Noah, the real Editor Noah, blah 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 blah. I forgot to credit Al, one of our writers. Whoopsies. So, yeah, redoing that with proper credit. Um, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I didn't realize it until after I started recording, and then I was reading over the dialogue, and I was like, "Wow, Al did such a great job on this," and I was like, "I forgot to credit him." So there's that. New intro alert. Old one's probably gonna be lost to time forever because I'd rather die than post my mistakes publicly. Even though I'm technically doing that right now, but shh, shh. Anyways, yeah, what's new with me? I'm on Magnus 170 and having a fucking crisis. It's funnily enough, I was listening to it and I was like, huh, what fear is this? Because I kept going between Stranger and Spiral, and I was like, no, the Strangler already had an episode, and then it was just like looping, and I was like, you know what also has loops? Spirals. So I was like, oh yeah, this is probably like a combination episode, even though I don't know if Magnus really does that. Um, no, they do. They do. I looked on. I live on the wiki. But yeah, I was like, oh, it's one of those. And then I look it up. The Lonely? The Lonely? I thought we were done. I thought we were done. I'm joking. But yeah, also thought Peter Lucas was dead, but I think The Lonely is a little salty about that. I haven't finished the episode though. But it's just so sad to see Martin. Oh, I hate how I said his name, but whatever. Seeing Martin being like, where? And then looping back like a sim. Oh my god, it's like a hamster wheel in your mind, man. Speaking of media that I like to consume, that's a good segue. I got new desk friends in the form of Sonic plushies. Not plushies, what am I talking about? Figurines. Figurines. They go right with my epithet ones, epithet erased, and my wooden Barappa the Rappa figurine. Bap bap. Anyway. I also started playing Dream Barbecue and Mushroom Musume, which probably not going to get a fixation on. It was at this moment he has gained a fixation. Nah, I'm kidding. But that stuff always happens with games. I'm like, I really like this. You know, a playthrough or two won't hurt, and then it's a fixation for like 6 months. In Stars and Time. Wait, no, that was like closer to a year. I made it to its 1 year anniversary before my fixate. I let it die down. Not to mention, I'm getting a Saffron plushie soon, so it might just come back. I was in the middle of like a all achievements run, and I got really bored, so ditch. Oh, okay, we're also reaching the mark on the longest intro. This is like almost 4 minutes. So, real quick, episode 7, Ripple. You goodbye.
Good call on bringing them to Artifact Storage with the whole, you know. I wasn't sure if you needed more on your hands than you already had, but Sasha said that you needed to make up company time and...
You're rambling. I already said it's fine. I need something to do while some asshole muddies the archive.
I know. I just feel guilty and bad and... Ah!
What's up, losers?
Sorry. Hey. Hi, Kara.
Wow, you startle easily.
They really do. It's funny.
Anyway, what's going on?
Just wanted to see where you wankers ran off to. Based on what I'm seeing here, though, you're finally doing something about the sand.
As much as we can, anyway. Grit really messes with magnetic tape.
Nerd.
Uh-huh. Hey, who was the guy who figured out what was wrong with your laptop? And fixed it in under an hour? Mm-hmm. Thought so.
Elijah, I think I found one that's salvageable.
Cool. We can listen to it while we work if you want.
Ugh, boo! Boring. I already read all that stuff. I'd rather choke on a coat hanger.
Don't you have anything better to do?
Actually, that's a good question. Aren't you supposed to be doing something right now?
Yes. I'm bothering you.
Elijah, do you still have the paper statements we found?
Yeah, they're on my desk.
There we go! You can read a statement, or two, to help with the workflow while we do this.
And why would I do that?
Because Sage is your boss and they say so.
Yes. That.
Yeah, no, not doing it. Sorry.
It really helps out. Please.
Oh my god. Honestly, sometimes I wonder how you even got this position. I mean...
Tara, I'm not asking again.
Fine. But I'm picking the shortest one.
I figured. See you later.
Don't touch anything else in there. How do you deal with her?
Honestly? Not even I know.
Ugh, can't believe I'm doing this. Notice, due to the unusual archival circumstances, I'm afraid that until we can properly contact Mr. Philip Lindell, the head archivists and archival assistants will do their jobs in shifts with one another, while the ones not working will take part in helping with the sand problem. Great. I apologize for the sudden change in schedule, but I felt like it was the best course of action. Men don't care, blah blah blah, Sasha being Sasha, yada yada. If you have any questions or complaints regarding these changes, feel free to email me at s.lemmings@magnusinstitute.uk. Thank you, Sasha Lemmings, she, her, Magnus Institute. Cora Jones, archival assistant to Sage. Recording letters written by Johan Hymerson and Björk Arnoldor to Ingrid and Aditya about his experience at the Fate Pond, which Elijah has put in parentheses, Pond Iceland, and later his death. Not like half the statements are bloody like that. Anyway, a log suggests that these letters were given to the London building mid-1870s, I think. Don't know, don't really care. All letters were written about the same time, scattered from November to mid-June. Icelandic translations provided by Norris in... my department. Statement begins. September 1870. My dearest Ingrid, I hope this letter finds you well, and I hope that you and your house are faring well in Canada. I wish to make it to you soon, though I fear something may halt my travel. Yet it is not the Danes, it is a pond, Ingrid. I believe I am the first man to discover it. It is vast, blue, and surrounded by the crisp, dead foliage of once green land. I'm not sure whether or not it was a man-made endeavor, or the natural erosion had barred its course. Perhaps a trench needed a good filling, and the Lord above deduced that water would be a steady solution for his once beautiful creation. I believe the water is of God, or is God himself. Because when I gaze upon it, Ingrid, I am lost in my own end. I do not lie to thee, Ingrid. Whenever I gaze upon the pond, I see every way God could take me. Today the vision has me slipping and falling as I turned to pass this letter to a carrier pigeon, cracking my head atop a large rock, rainwater washing away the blood. A vexing conundrum indeed, my betrothed. Perhaps I shall venture to it daily, ask how others and myself meet their demise. I believe that would make me go mad. Yours, Johann. November 1870. Ingrid, I have sought the wonders of the Fate Pond for many a month, and I regret to inform thee that the deaths have grown worse and more gruesome. It's such that I lose an appendage of mine. It changes whenever I cast my gaze away from the wretched waters. Once it could be my leg next my eye, but it is most interested in the hand I write to thee with. The most common vision goes as thus. The pond shimmers, highlighting me looming over it. It shows me a smaller version of past deaths, being trampled by horses, house caught on fire due to candlelight, a madman breaking into my study to stab me, etc. Then, when I turn away, my hand is gone. I am unsure of my destiny, Ingrid. Whether it is a never-ending spiral that the Lord had sent after me to drive me mad, I do not know. I am forced to his will, his teachings, and his tests, though I never know if I will survive. Ingrid, the powers which control us are far beyond our comprehension, and I am starting to doubt my own faith. If I am a man marked for death, am I truly a man at all? To that question, I have no answer. I hope that I am able to outrun my fate long enough to see your face across the Canadian mainland, my love. Yours, Johann. January 1871. Ingrid, this is quite an urgent matter, and I am unsure if I can evade the fickle mistress that calls herself Fate. God. The story is as thus, and apologies for the shakiness of the transcription. My comrade Bjork Arnoldor has taken the time to recite my frantic verbal squeaking on account of, well, you're about to read, are you not? I awaited the Fate Pond, having just collected my supply of wheat and barley for a variety of things. Bread, mead, things of that sort. I did not intend to go today. I intended for the morrow. Yet it was there, imploring me to gaze upon its unending deep. And look I certainly did. My body grew heavy as I inquired about the fractal swirls. What was looking back? How helpless and alone I'd feel if I were brought inside. The fire that would grow within my soul, trying to outrun things bigger than myself. Things that wish to impede horrid doom upon you and I, Ingrid. I swear to you, I nearly fell in watching it tell me that the end was coming. Not just mine, but everyone's. Hark, I had thought tall tales, you are but an enamoring lake, a mere speck in all the Lord has created. I had erased all legislature of this thought the moment I had looked to my left. My hand, one my comrades had agreed the devil possessed me to write with, was gone. A bloodied stump where it once was. I shrieked, surely, dropping the wheat and barley before me, not having seen that it had sunk, food for fate, I suppose. I do not know where my hand hath gone, yet I felt fear. Is this what God wanted of me? To feel fear? Have I been a minion of the devil and simply not realized? My left-handedness was my undoing, and I now see it as my deepest regret. I do not wish to rain curses upon our Lord, yet I find myself questioning his motives. If he had made me left-handed, if that is what he intended, why punish me at all? What hath my soul done in the great beyond before my descent into the womb? I will leave you to ponder until I return from the sick bay. I love you, dearest Ingrid, no matter how full of sin the world paints us as. Yours, Johann. June 1871. Dear Ingrid, 'tis I, Bjork. I regret to inform you that, unfortunately, Johann has not returned from his earlier venture to the Fate Pond. He left yesterday eve to ask how you were, and in the morrow he had not returned. Nobody knows where he went after, nor if he should return. Unless that dreadful bay of shallowed water was somehow a secret passageway to Canada, then I have every right to assume that Johann is dead, and shall hopefully remain as such. I had only wished you or I had been there, perhaps to ground him, or assure him that he was simply going mad and there was no need to fret over a man-made body of water. You'd always been the more sensitive of the two of you, hence why you likely moved to Canada instead of staying in Iceland during the crises we now face. Unless he wasn't as mad as we initially presumed. Because, Ingrid, I feel this pond beckon, growing impatient for my lack of answer while my curiosity around the death of Johann grows. It will only be a matter of time before the crushing need to know overtakes me. If I am to die, I shall combine Johann's share of my will with yours, and I ache to have you return to read aloud either of our eulogies. Speaking of Ingrid, I was looking through some of Johann's old things, and his housekeeper mentions that he had crossed out everything relating to Christianity, replacing it with fear, dread, and the pond. Was he perhaps obsessed with the work of Smirk and Magnus? I wonder where he had gotten a copy of their endless supplies of books, tomes, and many of the sort. If it is any consolation to you, Ingrid, every book was in English, a language neither you nor I speak, so I doubt he would have been able to read any of them. I know how you worried for his well-being. Take care, Ingrid. Shield your children from this grim news until we have a proper conclusion. It may take months and I may die, but if I do, surely you know where to reach my wife and young. Sincerely, Bjork. Statement ends. Well, that was a big pile of nothing. Fear and death and water. There, done. Nothing more to look into. I'm going to go back to bothering the other two. Serves them right for throwing me into a pointless dumpster dive.
Hi, howdy. So first off, 81 people are here. Hello, how you doing? And if some of the 81 people are coming back, hey, hello, how you doing? Extra greeting. Thanks, Curtis Connor. Sorry if I sound weird, by the way. I'm eating gum. Not eating gum. I'm not swallowing it. I'm not crazy. I might be. Anyway. Yeah. Another thing, some facts and trivia. This was based on the Danish invasion of Iceland, where a lot of Icelandic people migrated to Canada. I did, the bare minimum of research, I'm going to be honest, so feel free to fact check me. But, yeah, I got really bored in school, so I just started looking up a bunch of things I could make statements about. And some people, specifically, have just started writing statements in the document, even though they're not a writer, which, hell yeah, dude. Do what you want. And I genuinely think that, people here don't really have set roles. They just kind of do whatever. And I'm like, cool. The roles are just here so we know what you mainly do. You can do whatever you want. I literally told them all verbatim. I don't care what you do with the document. Just don't delete everything. Or, be an ass about it. But, in a lot of these Icelandic, names and translations, I don't speak Icelandic. I don't know how to say most of the words. I know how accents work, except for that one curvy D with the lines in it. that one. I've seen it before, but I don't know. I don't know how to say shit. Um, I was actually like in like somewhat inspired by the person who made Harpy Hair. I don't want to try butchering their name. I have to say it really strange to be able to listen to the music like whenever I want. And I'm like, bro, it kills me. They said it. Yeloker, Yeloker. I love Yeloker. They're awesome to me. But yeah, they had some Icelandic and Filipino in their song, and I'm like, whoa, scratch the brain immediately. So I was kind of like, huh, pipeline. And then I write it all down, saying it in my head, but not verbalizing it. And when KJ, the voice of Kara, had to read the statement, they were like, I just realized I have no idea how to pronounce any of the names in the statement. And then I replied, I don't either. My advice is Google. And they sent back a crying emoji, and I sent back a little crying emoticon, and I was like, I don't speak Icelandic, I don't know how to say anything. But yeah, we did it. All of their takes were good. And also, I didn't know that people in the UK have different like Gmail addresses than us. I'm from the US, and I genuinely didn't know until I saw Alex Newell's like whole thing. I know they say it like at the end of episodes, but it just whoosh flies over my head. And then I see it written out, and I'm like, ah, fuck. And I like frantically type to be like, how do British people formulate their email address? So we had to get that line retaken and rewritten. But it's all good. I wake up to it. I see they sent it at like 1 in the morning in my time. And oh my god. This wasn't as much of a mess as the production on episode 3, which is one of my favorite episodes, by the way. There's only one moment that makes me cringe, but I think it's just because we had a rocky start. Hey, me again. I just realized I ramble about episode 3 too much, and we can't have none of that. No. Um, but I did wanted to say a story. We have voice acting and writing channels in the Discord, obviously. Speaking of Discord, I I keep hearing the ping and I keep thinking it's gonna come on, but KJ sent an image of their hand in the voice actors chat, and it was how to say all of the names. And honestly, I think Kara would do that canonically. Like, even though she does not give a shit, KJ and I both agreed she would at least try to get it right. I mean, she doesn't give a shit, but she doesn't give a shit equally. Ha ha ha. So, yeah, that's just me not trying to ramble about episode 3 again. I think about it a lot, though. What else? Oh, yeah. Had a fun time with my family yesterday. I mentioned that in the previous recording as well. I got quesadillas. I love quesadillas. And I when I was first talking to Elle, the voice of Sasha, I was like, yeah, you're all good. No need to rush for lines. I'm going out to get quesadillas. I said that before too, but I still can't get over. That's what made me like, oh, this guy's just silly. I am quite the silly Billy, and I keep professional until they set foot in the server. I laugh maliciously, but I'm not that bad. I'm just insane. I just want you to stop saying hot shit. Anyway, I think I've used our swear limit, so I'm gonna go now. Episodes fluctuating in size. The core. The original ending thing was like 5 minutes. I think it's closer to 4 now. Unless I can keep it going. Nah, probably not. I don't have very much to talk about. Except for that I got into Pokemon again. The Pokemon Hyperfix is back. And also, slight Dandy World fixation. Egson, my beloved, I suppose. I was in a call with my friends, and I was playing as Roger, a little magnifying glass dude, detective man, for research purposes. And my two friends have already got Egson, and one of them said in their best old man voice, "Join the egg cult!" And I started losing my shit. Cause, like, I did not expect him to say that. Anyways, I did. And then we all formed a circle around one of my friends. Odds, specifically. Okay, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed. And episode 8 is in production. Looks to the left, looks to the right. So expect that soon. Bye-bye for real.